Hey guys, welcome to A Dose of Two in our new setting, new home, new habits. No tequila right now. Sad day.
Welcome to this episode of Dose of Two. I believe this is episode 8. So we're in the second grade or something. That's exciting.
Yeah, we moved up from kindergarten. Woohoo!
Oh yeah. So today's episode, a little different than our past ones. We're going to be evaluating and talking about beautiful Heather's MOVIECATION list.
Yes, summer is officially over. We're back in school. And I spent the summer watching movies that I haven't seen, but I should have seen, and a couple TV shows, and I watched a lot.
Before we lose all the lighting in here, let's start. Heather, do you want to start at the top of your MOVIECATION list?
Okay, so I watched, I believe, was a total of 30 movies. This was not updated.
You scratched them all out. We can't even see them.
I can read through them. I watched Pulp Fiction for the first time this summer, and I really liked the original concept. It was an original screenplay. The screenwriter was also the director, and it was a little weird for me.
Not a little too weird?
A little too weird, but I love John Travolta. I loved watching him. Uma Thurman. I understand the Fall Out Boy reference now. I was like, oh, she wants to dance like Uma Thurman. She's dancing. She's dancing at the Jackrabbit Slims. I get it now. Oh my god. Yeah, a little weird, but I still appreciate it. I was glad I saw it. I watched Harry Potter. We've been over this. We've touched on this a few
We've talked
times.
about Harry Potter so much. There's been multiple posts on it. We're 10 years too late. It's all a thing.
But I'm also reading the book series now, so that's kind of a cool thing that came out of that. I'm almost done with the second book. I've been working on that for probably a month and a half. I read the first book in 3 days.
Yeah, you're going
But
really
I
fast.
did buy the third book. It's sitting on my nightstand right now. But I love Harry Potter.
Yeah, I loved when we were watching those.
We watched it all summer too.
Yeah, I know. I rewatched them so much.
Yeah.
Kept ordering them on Amazon. My dad was like, "Why have you seen Harry Potter 7 times? Why did I get charged 8 times for Harry Potter?" I'm like,
was that a mistake? No, I just really wanted to watch it that many times.
The same one 3 times, Dad. I'm sorry.
And on that note, with you watching Harry Potter, I also watched The Office. And now everybody's watching The Office because I started watching The Office.
She started watching The Office, and then my parents started watching The Office, and now me and my man Damien, if y'all don't know who Damien is, we watch The Office so much now, and we're still watching it, and you are too, but we're ahead of her, and
They
it sucks.
surpassed me.
Because every night when we all want to hang out together, we have to go in different rooms to watch The Office.
I'm on season 7. There are 9 seasons, but I was even watching The Office in the car driving to Austin. I literally had the iPad.
Don't do that, by the way. No
I'm
one.
fine.
Do
I'm
as
alive.
we say,
I'm
not as we
breathing.
do.
Leave me alone, Shelby. But I had my iPod up. I was watching season 2. I watched the whole season 2 of The Office while driving to Austin, Texas.
I love Jam and Pim.
I love Jim and Pam.
Jim and Pam's
God,
relationship just makes me like melt. It's so sweet.
I've always seen like those articles on like, you know, your top 10 TV couples of all time, and Jim and Pam were always on there, and now that I've seen The Office, I'm like, I understand now. You know, someone told me I was like Stanley.
You are like Stanley.
Whatever.
I don't care.
Anyways, okay, I also watched 8 Mile for the first time. Love 8 Mile. We touched on this in a previous video.
Yeah, I think we did mention it.
Really good movie. Really like that one a lot. What else do we got here? I'm trying to read through these I watched the series 13 Reasons Why, which was got a lot of hype at the beginning of summer and even prior to summer. So it was cool to watch that and actually take what other people have said and compare it to my own personal thoughts about the show. I watched a little bit of Bloodline. It was good, but I wasn't too sucked into it. I love Kyle Chandler as an actor.
One of those shows where you're like, I could watch it, but I'm not like.
But I have other things I would
to
rather watch.
it. Yeah, because like The Office, I've seen The Office almost entirely through before, but I'm like addicted to it again. Like every night, I'm like, we need to watch an episode before we go to bed, or else I won't go to sleep.
Yeah, my friend said, do you realize you always watch an episode of The Office before you go to bed? I'm like, what's the problem?
Do you know who I am.
Yeah, I also started watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I started watching that prior before I started watching The Office, and then I was getting kind of tired of It's Always Sunny. Kill me. And so I'm like, what else could I watch? And it was right before I was moving into your house, and I had like nothing to do, and I was like, oh, let's just turn on the episode of The Office, and that's when I
Got addicted.
That's when it all started. Moving along. The
Godfather.
I did not watch The Godfather though.
Well, we got. You only got like halfway through it.
Not even halfway. I got
she fell asleep.
10 minutes into The Godfather.
Let's
and I
lay
fell
this out
asleep.
for everyone. Heather's a narcoleptic.
The correct term is narcoleptic. I have narcolepsy. I am a narcoleptic.
Heather is a narco. I feel like that's a drug runner, actually. That's what narco means. Heather's narcoleptic. And she falls asleep in the first 5 minutes of movies, and it makes me go crazy sometimes.
Because I literally rented The Godfather for 24 hours, and I fell asleep 2 times trying to watch it.
I will say, and I love The Godfather, I've seen it before, it is very long, and if you're not in the correct mood, or you start it too late, or you don't have the right kind of people or the right setting, it is one of those movies that can be harder to get through. Any of those older movies can be harder to get through if you're not like pumped for them or with someone who is.
One of my favorite movies that I did see this summer was $1 Million Baby. That was a phenomenal movie. Oh my gosh, because I love Morgan Freeman. Okay. I love Clint Eastwood. I love Hilary Swank. And I love movies about sports.
You do.
That's all that
I
was.
concur.
And it was so good. It did make me cry when she asked him to pull the plug. Oh my God.
Oh, I cried like an absolute baby in that movie. The first time I saw that movie, I was like uncontrollable, like
It was and she won an Oscar for that performance, I believe.
Did she?
She won an Oscar
I would
for that
believe
performance.
it. Man, that is such a
You have 3-time Oscar winners in that movie. God bless that movie.
Yeah. They have really good character building in that movie. Like the characters in the beginning of the movie, they go through changes through it, and you actually see why they go through it. Because I think some movies
the writing is so good. Yeah.
Some movies like you can kind of see why a character would stop believing one thing and start believing another, but they don't really draw it out well enough where you like believe it. $1 Million Baby makes you believe it, and also makes you cry.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that, totally.
Also, Hilary Swank, best teeth in the world.
Yeah.
She has a great smile.
She is beautiful. I love Hilary Swank. Oh, there was an episode
of The Office. I was about to say, hot or not.
I was like, she's hot.
I think she's hot too. I would say she's hot.
I watched some chick flicks that, were popular in the early 2000s. Like I watched 2 Weeks Notice. I watched P.S. I Love You. I watched
Clueless.
Clueless. What was the other one with? Was it Matthew McConaughey and
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson. I was gonna say.
Yeah, we watched that one with my mom. I remember that.
Yeah, I love how your parents got in on my moviecation. They're like, oh, what are we watching tonight?
My parents were super well because before we moved into our new house here, Heather lived with us at my parents' house for like 2 weeks or whatever, and she was gone for like one of the weeks. But that other week she was there, we watched movies every single night. My parents were all up in the movies.
Yeah, and then those earlier chick flicks makes me realize that chick flicks had a time when they were actually good. Now they just suck. And
that's like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. It's so witty and funny and like clever.
And like I love those older actresses like Sandra Bullock. Love her. Jennifer Aniston. Hilary Swank was in P.S. I Love You.
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson.
Before I heard she was mean.
But yeah, I saw some of those old school chick flicks. Had to put those in there.
Yeah. Except you fell asleep in Clueless too.
But I woke up and I rewatched it the next day. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that is true. I did my nails while you fell asleep that first night.
I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassing. I watched the first Lord of the Rings. Gonna be honest, wasn't my favorite. I didn't really want to watch the second one.
You're just not really a fantasy sci-fi kind of person though, are you?
To some extent I am. Like I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I loved Harry Potter. But I feel like Lord of the Rings was just too fantasy for me.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings is more realistic and gory, whereas like Harry Potter is a fantasy story. Obviously it's like witches and wizards, but it's so like glorified and clean, and it's not super like
But I do love
dark.
Orlando Bloom.
Oh, Legolas.
He was great. Okay. I did watch a few newer movies that have come out throughout the past year, 2 years. I watched Before I Fall, which I really liked that one. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. I haven't seen the second one. It's on here. I really liked it.
Oh, it's on Amazon now. We can rent it here.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. I watched Baby Driver. We went and saw that. Really love Ansel Elgort. I watched the Taylor Lautner movie, Run the Tide.
Oh, the one you said that was bad.
Yeah, something Tide.
But his brother.
Yeah, it was just too one-dimensional. There was no well-rounded characters. The whole story was boring. Like, I was just sitting there waiting for the movie to end.
I hate those kinds of movies. That's like that one terrible romantic one we watched. Romance movie. You know what I'm talking about with the magic guy?
Oh, I was thinking of the movie we watched last night.
Oh no, that movie sucked too, but we'll get there. What's that movie called?
With Rachel Bilson, Waiting on Forever.
Waiting for Forever, something like that.
So
literally
bad.
If you ever see that title pop up on Netflix, delete it from Netflix if you can. I know you can't, but if you could, you should, because it's the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm not exaggerating.
It was really bad.
It
was so bad.
It was so bad.
It made me cringe. We literally were like,
we spent half the movie like,
even your parents were.
Yeah, my mom
You sound
was
like Taylor Swift in her new music video.
Oh, look what you made me do. Sorry.
Okay, I'm just gonna proceed here. I watched Dirty Dancing for the first time.
Nobody put baby in a corner. I knew it.
That one was okay. Yeah, a lot of people reference Dirty Dancing and that line
Oh, you
too.
only thought it was okay?
Yeah.
I love Dirty Dancing.
Watched one that I really like was Into the Wild. Vince Vaughn is in it a little bit, so is Kristen Stewart, and I forget the main actor, but it's based on a true story of the kid who graduates from college, and he comes from a very wealthy family, and he donates, I believe he had like $18,000 in his bank account, donated it all to charity, and went and just lived in the wild and like hitchhiked across the United States, and it's based on a true story. Spoiler alert, he ends up dying because he eats a poisonous plant.
That's why I always tell Damien he cannot eat plants off the side of the road. The fact that I have to even tell him that.
But yeah, I really liked that one because it was such a well-directed story, and the people that he met along the way and those different interactions and relationships he formed were so touching and very connected.
Was it kind of one of those where as he went, he met people and he like learned a lesson with that person and then kind of learned a lesson?
More like he taught them lessons.
Oh gosh, I don't want to watch it now.
It was really good. It was long.
It's 3 hours.
It might be a book, but it's based on a true story. Like, this actually happened to a guy. I don't know if it's a book though. But yeah, that was a really good one. I watched The Martian with Matt Damon.
Oh, that is one of my favorite movies
I watched that
ever.
movie halfway through, like a year ago or something, but I fell asleep. But
Of course.
I finally watched it, and it was really good.
That is one of my...
Shelby's seen it 17 times or something.
I went crazy when that movie first came on DVD.
Oh, Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah,
that
little
was really
Leo.
good. Little Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, that's a really good movie.
That was really good. I remember when I was younger, my parents were watching it, and I was trying to watch it with them, and they made me leave the room because I was too young. But I was like watching it now, and I'm like, there's nothing that inappropriate about this movie.
There's nothing inappropriate at all.
Leave it to my parents.
Leave it to your parents. And Tom Hanks, you love Tom Hanks.
I love Tom Hanks.
I know, that's like a perfect movie for you.
Speaking of Tom Hanks, we watched The Circle last night, and okay, Tom Hanks
was good in it. Great, in fact.
Tom Hanks, yes.
Was the only thing good about it, basically.
And this is why I wanted to see the movie. Tom Hanks is my favorite actor ever. He may be my favorite person ever. Wilson, you got Castaway. You got the Carly Rae Jepsen video. You have Saving Private Ryan. You have Forrest Gump. Like, Tom Hanks, I love Tom Hanks. And then I see this movie cover with Tom Hanks and Emma Watson in it, and it says The Circle. And I'm like, ooh, I gotta watch this. It must be good. Wrong.
Very wrong. We watched it last night. It was one of those movies where it was a book originally. I guess Heather looked it up, and the book ending is very different than the movie ending.
Not very different, but it was pretty different.
It was a decent amount different. See, I've never read the book. This is what I have to say about it. Tom Hanks was the only good actor in it. Emma Watson's acting was about mediocre. I wouldn't say it was terrible.
Fun fact, did you know when they did that movie for the test audience, it had such a bad reaction that they had to reshoot the movie and change her character, and when they showed that to the new test audience, they hated it even more.
They shouldn't have come out with it then. I mean, they have to. They already spent such a big budget on it, I'm sure.
Yeah, there was no well-rounded relationships, bad acting.
Oh, the mom, the dad, Mercer, the guy who played Ty, who also plays Finn in Star Wars, is a really good actor, did so bad in that. And then her friend who played Annie, she plays...
They made, on her defense though, they made her look terrible.
Annie?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, her friend, but her acting was terrible too.
Yeah.
It all, like...
And their accents kept going in and out, and I couldn't tell. I'm like, wait, are they supposed to be like
British or
Scottish, or are they like American? There's no consistency at all.
The story idea is awesome, right? It's super dystopian, super like Big Brother, what would happen if we could watch everyone all the time? And I love the concept, and I literally was like, this has to be a good movie. They can't fuck this up.
They fucked it up.
They messed it up hard, because it...
Pause.
Hey guys, welcome back from intermission. If you've noticed, our lighting has changed a little bit. Okay, we're over it. Let's go.
Yeah, circle.
Oh, but besides them, who was good, the mediocre Emma Watson, every other actor in it was... And I don't mean to be mean to people, but they were so bad. It was literally like they hired high school kids in it or something. Because they were like, hey, man.
May.
Come
back here. I'm just like,
listen to me. What the fuck? I'm not an actress, and I think I could do better than that. That's a stretch. That's a stretch.
You want to play Mercer?
Okay, ready? May. No, I'm about as bad as him.
Mercer, come back.
May. Oh my god, they were so bad. But there were parts that were entertaining, but for the most part, I would give it like a 2.
So bad. What else did I see? Oh, I watched, speaking of Emma Watson as well, I did finally watch the live action Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Not my favorite. I liked the Cinderella live action.
Actually didn't see that one.
It was really good. The Beauty and the Beast, for some reason, not... Okay, I love Emma Watson. Okay, I did a whole article on her about how fantastic she was as Hermione. She can act, okay? We know she can act, but for some reason, I just don't think she was Belle.
I don't think she can act. I'm sorry. I think she's Hermione because that's like actually her personality, and she did a good job, but then I think every character she plays is like Hermione, but just a little different, and she can never make it more different.
I have faith in you, Emma.
We have faith in you, Emma. I still love you. Come. But yeah, Beauty and the Beast, I almost think too the directing on it was bad. The way they cut the scenes.
The editing, yes.
Yeah.
The editing was a little weird. I don't know how I feel about my favorite characters were Gaston and the dad.
He was so perfect.
Good.
Yeah.
The Beast, I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. Even like the graphics are kind of too much for me.
Yeah, they went almost into like the uncanny valley of it being too realistic but still fake.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
I don't know,
what's going on there?
I just like
and it left you just kind of uncomfortable. Yeah, I would have to say the one thing I noticed on that was the editing. It would leave the end of every scene her face like this. Like her looking back and forth, like awkwardly long, and like just kind of like looking around. I was like, why are they stopping every scene with that? Like, weird face.
I didn't like it. I did not like it.
Same.
I did not make it to Indiana Jones.
Did you watch Casablanca?
I did not make it to Casablanca, but my media literacy class requires me to watch Casablanca, so I have to.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Look, Little Miss Sunshine. This is what kind of got me on the road to the office because Steve Carell is in Little Miss Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh, that is such a good movie. The best writing, and I've said
it
this
won
a
an
million
Oscar
times,
for best writing.
the best writing I've ever seen in my life. Heard.
And
Read.
Shelby's professor has battered that into her brain.
Oh,
So
yeah, I took a screenwriting class once, and literally, like, we watched Little Miss Sunshine 3 different times, and it was like watching it from a different perspective and for different things, like filling out a sheet, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. I was like, once we realized all the little, like, idiosyncrasies of the writing in that and how they really tied in, like, tiny little things in every scene, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best written movie ever.
Shawshank Redemption. Oh my god.
You like that one?
Shawshank Redemption was so good. Oh my god.
You love Morgan Freeman too.
I love Morgan Freeman too. And the ending blew my mind.
That's one of my favorite movie endings of all time.
I did not expect that. You think like the foreshadowing is making you think that he hung himself and that he wants to die. But he was working on a little secret passageway with the freaking little tool. And I was like, wow. Wow, and then him and Morgan Freeman were all free at the end. Passengers. It's good.
You said that too so excitedly.
I'm just excited that I was able to read through the scribbles.
Sorry, she scribbled out on her little things. Now we don't know what she read. Yeah, Passengers, you thought it was good? I would give it like a 3-star rating.
Out of 5?
Yeah. Well, and then what I don't get about it is while the ship is going, you know how when they go and they look at the screen that says what's wrong with it and there's all those errors on it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't like the home base or whatever it is like read those errors and realize something's wrong?
Plot holes. Just a bunch of plot
Oh,
holes.
that movie has more plot holes than basically any movie. Also, I know like you're the only 2 people alive on this thing, but I cannot help but get over the fact that if someone woke me up and literally killed me like that, I don't think I could ever like...
I know, but you have to feel bad. What I liked about the characters is when a character can make me feel bad, I feel like they're doing a great job. Because I felt bad for both of them.
Yeah.
Like, I understood both parts, and both points of view, but I don't know which one I agree with more, because I kind of agree with both of them.
Yeah, I did feel like that too, and I almost blamed it on my like love for Chris Pratt as why, and that might be one of the reasons they chose him, because they knew it had to be someone really likable, because he did such a fucked up thing. But you're right, because he waited, what, like 3 years or something?
He did try to wait it out, but could
3
you
months,
imagine
something like 3.
being the only person like alive and you're just gonna die alone? Like, what? That's such a, I couldn't even imagine my thought process or even having to like make a decision like he did.
Yeah.
That part was fine for me, but just the whole plot hole situation.
There were a lot of plot holes in it.
But if I ignore the plot holes, fun movie. It was great to watch.
Yeah, it was really entertaining. I didn't think there was a lot of bread and butter to it. Like, it was kind of one of those, like, oh, this is going to be a blockbuster hit. We don't need to really make everything, like, 100% perfect. Dot every I, cross
Tie a
every
bow,
T.
cross the T's, dot the I's.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of one of those, like, they were missing a lot in the writing, but they knew it was going to be big, so it didn't matter.
Don't make a lot of money, who cares?
All right, guys, those were most of the movies that
I'm
Heather
trying
went
to
over
read through this
week.
scribbled. I think I read them all, but I don't know. But that was a lot of movies. That's a lot of discussions.
A lot of things to talk about.
And I'm very proud of myself.
Good
We
job.
talked about this MOVIECATION a lot over the summer, and now that we're back in school again, and we're gonna be pretty busy lately, as you may have already noticed. So we thought we would come back with this video, just kind of recapping this MOVIECATION, because we've been doing a lot of, concerts and musicals, but I feel like we've been mentioning this MOVIECATION throughout
the
these
whole
videos.
thing,
We had
yeah.
to do a video dedicated to my MOVIECATION. Alright guys, so check out our website at Adoseoftwoblog. Check out our Instagram at Adoseoftwoblog. Facebook using still Adoseoftwoblog. Send us an email at Adoseoftwoblog.
Blog.
At gmail.com.
If there's anything you'd like to hear us talk about, see us write about, anything at all, again, Adoseoftwoblog at gmail.com.
Or if you just want to talk to us because we're so fun.
And you love us.
Let's go take a shot.